Hi, I'm Andrew. Welcome to Splash Page, where the sun shines bright, superpowered people fight criminals on the street, and all the good guys are on the side of justice. At least that's what they tell you.
You heard it here first. Off the record, on the QT, and very hush hush.
Today, I'm here to do a deep dive into Amazon's Invincible, a show with so many amazing characters, from the grizzled war veteran Omni-Man to the idealistic immortal. There's the cool and conniving robot, the overcompensating Rexplode, Aquarius, the eager guardian, and the disillusioned Adam Eve. There's the strong-willed wife and mother of superheroes Debbie Grayson, and the bright-eyed Invincible himself. And then there's my favorite character of the lot, Damien Darkblood. I know that sounds like a strange pick. I mean, he's not even a main character. Darkblood's only in the show for approximately 9 minutes out of 8 42-minute episodes. That's only 2.5% of the entire runtime of the show. And yet he always feels like he's somewhere in the background, lurking, trying to figure out the truth. You don't get to see much more of him in the comics either. He's only actually in 3 episodes, 8, 13, and 16, for a grand total of 15 panels. Let's go over that background real quick. I'll start with the comics since there's less there. We're introduced to Damien Darkblood, the demon detective, when he questions Omni-Man about who might have killed the Guardians. Immediately you can see he's a Rorschach ripoff from Alan Moore's The Watchmen comics. He works for people your boss's bosses aren't important enough to meet. The show portrays him in very much the same vein, albeit with a different face. Copyright issues, I'm sure. But we also learn a lot more about him. We learn that when he's around, he cools the air to the point where it can ruin electronics and kill houseplants. No wonder he's always using a pad and pen. We learn that he can turn himself invisible, the creepiest of the superpowers. We find out that he escaped from hell and seeks justice to save his soul, which turns out to be kind of ironic, as he ends up being sent back to hell because he wouldn't drop the case. And we learn that he could see the past by touching blood. I'm not sure if that's specific to murders in blood, or if it's any life form's past, or if it's just any object. Like when he opens a can of tuna, does he know where that can was made? And when he opens it, does he see the grisly murder of a tuna fish? Darkblood is a consummate professional. No sense of humor. This is serious business. He's going to find out the truth, and he's not going to cover it up for any reason. After all, his soul is on the line. He's a hard-boiled private investigator looking for clues, an homage to every classic noir detective in the vein of Sam Spade from The Maltese Falcon, or Sergeant Joe Friday in Dragnet.
All we know are the facts, ma'am. Now why don't you give us a straight story? It's going to save time and trouble for everybody concerned here.
In the books, we see him interrogate Omni-Man much as he does on the show, and take over the crime scene at Guardians HQ, also the same as on the show. The last time we see him in the book, he's coming to tell Cecil he's almost got the answers he's looking for. A day after Omni-Man kills the immortal in the sky in front of the entire world and admitted to everything, caught on tape by Cecil's people. He's laughed out of the secretary's office. On the show, he works a lot quicker. He seems to know right off the bat it was most likely Omni-Man who killed the Guardians, but he doesn't say anything until he's confronted by Omni-Man himself. Eventually, Cecil gets wind of Darkblood's shenanigans, catches him snooping around the Grayson household, and takes him back to the Pentagon, where he excises Darkblood back to hell so he can't interfere, because Damien Darkblood will not just let this go.
Why does one death matter against so many? Because there is good and evil must be punished, even in the face of Armageddon. I will not compromise in this.
But let's get back to the point. Why in hell did Robert Kirkman create a character whose job, in the end, turns out to be pointless? And why is this character so important to the story? And what does he tell us about characters in general? It would be simple to say his character, especially in the books, is completely unnecessary. A little diversion that ends in a cosmic joke. What you tried to do? It was meaningless. The truth came out, and you were no part of it. In the show, he's used as a foil for both Cecil and Nolan to give us a closer look at their characters and to let us see what they're actually capable of. We see him go toe-to-toe with Nolan Grayson, the strongest man on the planet, and eventually outright accuse him of murder.
You were in my house. You frightened my wife.
You murdered 7 people.
And we see Nolan's reaction. He's not worried.
Maybe it was you. Maybe you came to finish the job you started with the Guardians. You're the demon, after all.
The encounter shows the incredible confidence and icy cool demeanor of Nolan Grayson, and his ability to lie and gaslight anyone. And it also shows that Darkblood did actually get under his skin when Nolan slams the door behind him on his way out.
Go fuck yourself, Darkblood.
We also see Darkblood trying to help Cecil Stedman find answers. Answers that Cecil already knows and doesn't want to hear. We get to see how far Cecil will go to succeed, including sending the demon back to hell. The demon equivalent of murder, I guess. But regardless of whether Darkblood cracks the case in time or not, ultimately doesn't matter. In one, he finds out his information too late. In the other, he's sent to hell for knowing too much. In both, Omni-Man eventually murders the Immortal in front of the world and, well, the cat's out of the bag. No need for Damien Darkblood. Damien is basically there to take everyone's eyes off of the magic trick Robert Kirkman was trying to pull. He's a decoy, so we don't see it coming when the Immortal flies up to confront Omni-Man and becomes all of the evidence anyone needs. Because we were too busy looking at the detective for answers. Except this is a show about superheroes, not detectives. And in the end, all of Damien Darkblood's sleuthing amounts to nothing. So does this make Darkblood a cosmic joke, like in the comic book? A man, or demon, on a meaningless journey through life, like Estragon and Vladimir and Samuel Beckett's Waiting for Godot? Or is he just a thorn in the side of a more powerful agency, ultimately unable to cause any change in the world as the show portrays him? Or is Damien Darkblood something more? A tragic figure that, due to his demonic heritage, is forced to try and get justice for the murders of the Guardians, despite the fact that it would be better for him personally to just let it go. He's a literal demon, forced to work on the side of good to save his soul, an incorruptible force for truth on a mission from God, or in this case, away from the devil. Willing to risk his life in order to satisfy his conscience and find justice for the dead. Like Galileo before him, who was sentenced to house arrest for supporting the heretical heliocentric works of Copernicus, Damien Darkblood will spend the rest of his days trapped in hell for trying to solve the murders of the Guardians of the Globe and expose Omni-Man for who he really is, instead of just helping people more powerful than him cover it up. Maybe Damien Darkblood is there to remind us that no matter how hard we try, and no matter how right we are, sometimes we fail. So what do you think? Does Damien Darkblood show us that it's better to fight and fail as long as you're fighting for justice? Or that sometimes you can get more done working with people you don't like so that you can live to fight another day? Is Damien Darkblood a martyr or a fool? Or was he just a victim of circumstance? Either way, he's more than just a joke. Thank you for watching. I hope you liked this video. Please like, subscribe, and comment for more videos about this and other pop culture topics. And if you subscribe and comment, you'll be entered into our contest to win one of 2 Invincible action figures when we hit 1,000 subscribers. Until next time, somewhere out there, Damien Darkblood is working to get out of hell and will always be looking for justice. Whether he succeeds or not, he'll be out there lurking in the darkness, waiting for his moment. And someday, he'll expose us all.